I think therapy has its place. It can be very one-dimensional. Certainly the spiritual aspects of Pathwork, to my mind, are very multi-dimensional and address the eternal issues of our being. Whereas my impression of therapy is that it's very good at dealing with the problem and trying to solve the problem so that you can move on with your life. But Pathwork is dealing with something at a much deeper level. One of the things I liked about Pathwork when I became involved with it is that other than the metaphysics of Pathwork, the practicalities of Pathwork are really very consistent with what the Bible teaches and what Jesus taught. So my sense of evil in the human soul is that it's a result of our choice to separate from God, the pain of that separation creating distortions in our being, and then learning how to deal with that. So I don't see evil as an equal and opposite force to the good, more as a corruption and a distortion of the good. I don't think I could be a priest if I weren't doing Pathwork. The Pathwork really helps me understand myself, my own tendency to have emotional reactions, and gives me the ability to understand other people from that perspective as well, so that I'm not tempted to react emotionally to them quite as frequently as I might be. Or if I do react emotionally, to realize it's not me, it's a part of me that needs to be grown up and transformed. I think that if a person is involved in a therapeutic process, they need to be committed to the truth. One of my favorite writers is M. Scott Peck. And in his book, The Road Less Traveled, he starts out by saying, life is difficult. And then he talks about how all neuroses or psychoses are a result of our inability to cope with the truth. And if a therapy is dedicated to helping a person explore what the truth is, my sense is that not only will that always lead to a spiritual path, but that will always lead to Christ. There are certainly people in my group that are not Christians. I'm still struggling with this myself because my dedication as a priest is to Christ personally. But I do know that the guy does say at one point that all religions have sufficient truth to enable a person to grow in this life. Well, certainly as a Christian and as a traditional Christian, reincarnation is not part of my understanding of the world. It's not part of my understanding of the soul. It's not in the biblical texts as far as I can see, and it's not in any of the texts that were written at the same time in that part of the world. So yes, I do have trouble with the reincarnation, taking it literally. I can take it metaphorically, I can take it mythologically, but at this point in my understanding, my development, I can't take it literally. I believe that all humans are here to love God, to bring forth a unique aspect of the infinite and eternal love of God that has been implanted in our souls, and that the great obstacle to that is our tendency to separate from God. And so we have a double task. We have a task to discover reunification with God, and then a task to experience the transformation of our own souls, our own negativity, so that we can bring forth that love more completely, both for our benefit and the benefit of other people. My approach is that the Pathwork really helped me understand the concept of self-responsibility. And from my perspective, self-responsibility leads to self-acceptance. And one of the things that I remember that my Pathwork helper, Carol Day, initially told me when I was thinking about doing Pathwork, and I said, I just want to know what the rules are. He said, well, the rule is you get to decide. You are the creator. That's the first law, self-responsibility. And the bad news is, if you have something you don't like in your life, you created it. But the good news is, if you have something bad in your life, you can change it. And so I see this law of self-responsibility as leading to self-acceptance, because it helps me understand that if I'm creating from a place of love and compassion, I will manifest that in my life. And if I'm not, I have the ability to make the choice to change.